it may be a time where it's not appropriate to be particularly greedy. I think we need to see that because of monetary policies that the central banks around the world have followed with artificially low interest rates and money printing, and this started already in the late 1980s, 1990s, they've managed to kind of postpone problems instead of solving them for a very long time, and to eliminate some risks in the markets that should have occurred earlier. And so we have now a situation where the central banks are in a very difficult position, because if they don't increase interest rates, inflation will likely accelerate. And if they increase interest rates at the time, GDP in the first quarter in the US was down, and the mortgage applications and so forth, the many economic indicators that are down, world trade is down, the geopolitical situation, and you know this very well from Australia, regarding the Solomon Islands, is not favorable. We have, in essence, a trade war. And so many things are not conducive to high equity valuation.
Right.
Now, if you look at the whole equity market, of course, there are stocks that are like the FANG stocks in America. The index is now down more than 30% from the November highs. But there are other stocks that are very inexpensive. Like if you look at Hong Kong shares are selling at half book value. I don't think they can increase interest rates very much. Otherwise, the system collapses. Ditto in Japan. In Japan, you have an even worse situation. But I can tell you, say we have in America an economist, John Taylor is a professor in Stanford, and he established a rule where, say, short-term rates should be in order to maintain a stable economic financial system. According to that rule, the Fed fund should be at 9.81%. The whole world is bankrupt if the Fed fund rate goes to 9%. So I think the Fed will increase rates by 0.5%, and then maybe another 0.5%. You see, the problem now is this. In the recession of 2001, 2003, the bear market, in the great financial crisis, 2000, 2008, until March 2009, during those bear markets, and also in the COVID crisis, February, March 2020, during these stock bear markets, interest rates went down and bonds rallied. So investors offset some of their stock losses with bond rallies. Now the bond market is down, the long-term bond market is down more than 30% in the US from the peak in 2021. And therefore people have actually large losses on stocks. Plus the young people all invested in meme stocks, SPACs. It's of course the most speculative sector. These stocks are down like 60%, 80%. The ARC Innovation Fund, which was the kind of the most popular investment fund among aggressive investors, is down 68% from the high. In the 70s, nobody expected inflation to accelerate as much as it did. And when I started to work in 1970, the 10-year treasury in the US was at 6%. It then went to over 15%. You understand? These moves, both inflation and interest rates, can go much further than is expected. Nobody in the whole world expected ever to have negative interest rates in the world. We had that never in history before, in the 5,000 years of recorded history, were interest rates this low as they were in 2020, 2021. That is a huge manipulation by central banks. And now the market has called them bluff, and they are in a difficult position. But they're in a difficult position because of their mistakes. Well, in Japan, they don't want, because they know the country's bankrupt. You say the JGB rate, the government bond rate, goes to 2%. So they keep it at 0.25%. But in economics, when you intervene, there is something that will break. So the yen broke. The yen has been very weak. And in Europe, Lagarde, who is the president of the ECB, all these people are criminals, in my opinion, because they destroy the purchasing power of ordinary people with low salaries and high taxes. They suffer the most, and the rich people, they can hedge, they can change their money in other currencies and so forth and so on. This opportunity is not given to the lower and the middle class. And therefore, I have a very, very low opinion of central bankers around the world.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
I have bad news for you. If you're not rich by now, you're screwed. And if you're in debt, you're even double screwed. How so, you might wonder? Well, the sad truth is that you're working your whole life to make someone else rich. The mega corporations, the banks, the politicians, everyone is getting richer. They get your money. And what is even worse, they get your time, they get your life. You are not even in a rat race. You're in a financial prison. But what could a solution for you look like? Honestly, I don't know, but I know what a solution for me would look like. It's very simple. I use whatever money I have and I multiply it with 1,000. This could make my life much easier and probably yours as well. If you have $1,000 available and multiply this with 1,000, I believe that this could solve some financial issue for the one or the other. Of course, if you're ugly, you would have to multiply it with much more than 1,000. My name is Marc Faber, and this is what I decided to do. I decided to 1000x my money. This is not a joke. I know what you may be thinking. What is this guy talking about? How should this work? This is not possible. Well, I made a detailed video where I laid out my plan. And some clever folks might even want to look at this plan and copy it and do exactly what I do. This is just a little hint on the side. You have two options. You leave, you forget what you have seen. You do whatever you're doing and you hope that somehow you get some other results. Good luck with that. Or you click the link below the video. You enter your email address because I'm not showing this to everybody. You at least watch my video on how I plan to 1000x my money. The choice is yours. Make the right choice. Join me. See what a different future you could have. See at least how I intend, how I plan to do the 1000x. So click on the link below, enter your email address, and I see you on the other side. Your Marc Faber.